thank you for meeting us here, Mr. Jungle.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this year marks the 15th anniversary of Hong Kong's return to China. As we know, you are from Hong Kong. So could you please tell us when and why you chose to come to work in Beijing?
Okay, actually I come before 1997, which is about 1994. Yeah, coming to Beijing for a long time. I think the major reason that I come to Beijing is because of the development of China, especially of the economy development of China is booming. I think in Hong Kong it's a very mature market. In my professionals, actually, I think it's already quite mature. If you are looking for a quick career path, I think choosing to come to China, come to Beijing to work with my client will be the first choice.
Okay. So did you initially encounter any culture shocks?
I think initially, yes, definitely, there's some culture shock. Say, for example, when you come to the streets, there's more bicycle than cars, which is totally different from Hong Kong. Second thing is during my work, during noon, everyone go to have a snack nap, which in Hong Kong you never encounter this kind of customs. So therefore, I think those are the culture shock that I can see, which I'm not very comfortable. Finally, one thing that's very funny is every time when I was off from work, then I see some of my colleagues go down to take a bath. Because at that time, I think the condition in Beijing, the living condition in Beijing is not really good. Not everyone have a bathroom.
Developed,
you have a bathroom at home, and therefore they usually take a bath at their danwei, at their office place. So this is really a shock for me. I see all the people with wet hair coming in and out from the office. So this is really a culture shock.
So how did you overcome those culture shocks?
I think basically because from my experience, I come from Hong Kong. I understand the historical background, why the development of the economy in China looks like. Therefore, I think it's really not a difficult part for me to accommodate the shock. Basically, the differences, because I think I have some expectation is a bit more than I expect. That's all.
You have already prepared psychologically?
Yes, right, definitely.
Okay, so then if a brief comparison is to be made, what do you think are the major similarities and the differences between Hong Kong and the Chinese mainland? For example, lifestyle and work environment.
Okay, I think now the difference is really small.
Really small now.
Really small, but I think let's say 15 years ago, the working environment is totally different. It is very difficult to find a good, nice office building, and the office building is very expensive.
Yeah,
and it's very difficult to find a apartment at that time. Therefore, we really need to stay in hotel for more than a year or two before you can find a nice apartment. And from lifestyle perspective, one major issue I have is eating. Because you don't have a lot of variety of food at the moment. It's only Beijing's food. And,
very limited
choices. Very limited choices. And of course, another thing is on the timing. Because we usually eat quite late. Usually we work overtime until 7 or 8. And then at that time I go out, I can't find anything to eat because they close very early.
Very early.
I think that is the difference in lifestyles and office space. But now I encounter no problems. I think it's very close. I think the lifestyles are very close with Hong Kong.
Yeah. So right now you have been living here in Beijing for quite several years. So which place do you think makes you feel most comfortable here in Beijing, and why?
Definitely, I think home makes me feel more comfortable, basically. And also office is another place make me feel comfortable because I've been working in this office for many years. I've been working with our colleagues for many years. We know each other. But if you want to talk about the third place, I think will be a small bar in Sanlitun. Will make me very comfortable, relaxed. Basically, it reminds me of the good years that when I was in Hong Kong, after office hour, we would like to, a group of colleagues would like to go together to a small bar to have some beers, to have some chat. I think those bars remind me of the good old time.
Good old time.
Right?
For
Maybe because I'm
relaxation
quite
with your
old
friend.
now.
Okay. Okay. So, as a senior partner of consulting, Deloitte Consulting in China, and which is specialized in human capital management
Yes.
and talent assessment.
Yes.
So, what's your opinion on the differences between the talents from Hong Kong and the Chinese mainland?
Okay. A very serious question, but I think I have some few points on that. First of all, I think let's talk about Hong Kong first. In Hong Kong, I think from talent perspective, first of all, the international exposure is a bit better, basically because of the historical reason, the geographic position of Hong Kong. So talents in Hong Kong has more overseas exposure.
Overseas exposure.
International exposure.
International.
The second area, I think, is on the language side. And in Hong Kong, it's much more easy to find someone who can speak fluent English, fluent Chinese. I think it's a bit of challenge in mainland China, but the things have been improving a lot. But still, I think this is another challenge I can see. Thirdly, I think from talent perspective in Hong Kong is they work according to the game rules, according to the laws. They follow the policy procedure very strictly. It likes that if you don't agree with it, you will talk about it. But however, if we have consensus, we'll follow. I think that is a very important aspect of talents in Hong Kong. And the fourth part I can think about is integrity. I think Hong Kong's talents really are very strongly emphasized on integrity. So therefore, the fifth one I can finally think of is the professionalism. Actually, they focus a lot on works. They will never abandon anything until they finish it. So I think it's the professionalism that in Hong Kong talents that I think is that I really appreciate of. But however, in mainland China, definitely there are other talents other aspects I really appreciate. First of all, I think the willingness to learn and their hard working they just like spongy. They keep on absorbing your knowledge and skills. They want to, that's right. They want to learn very quickly. So this is one thing. And the second thing I really admire of the talents is their entrepreneurship. And I think they really understand how the business looks like. They really want to gain more from the business in the entrepreneurship. That is what I really admire of. I really don't see a lot of that kind of characteristic in Hong Kong, especially for teenagers. Thirdly, I can think of is they understand what we in our professional wording called organization agility. It means that they understand how an organization runs. They understand who has the authority to do what, and therefore he very understand how to make things done. Therefore, this is the agility that sometimes I don't see in Hong Kong. They have that kind of talents, or they from comparative wise. I think this is really what the mainland Chinese on the talent side is really very good at. Finally, I can think of is actually they can really write very good Chinese. The power of expressing themselves in Chinese is something that I really admire of. I study in Hong Kong, I study English, I study Chinese. I write most of the cases in business Chinese, but however, they can write very good, they can express themselves very clearly, concisely, with very short sentences in Chinese.
They are Chinese,
But I think in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, they are also Chinese. But however, the ways that they use Chinese wording, and especially how they quote as to the Asian Chinese paragraph wordings, poem is really good. I think those are the characteristics that I think in mainland the talents are really great.
Okay, so what has been a Deloitte strategy to attract, to recruit and retain the top level newly graduates each year?
I think Deloitte is branding really helps. We are one of the big four. Deloitte is now big four accounting firms. And actually we are now the biggest accounting firm in China. And another thing is actually we start to work with the university students. I think 2 years ago, before they graduate, we have a Deloitte club.
Which university?
And most of the big university in Beijing, the Beijing University, Tsinghua, Renmin.
University of International Business and Economics.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Definitely, most of the very promising famous university. We work with them. We invite those students to work for us during their internship. About 2 years ago, before they graduate, I let them learn about what's the culture of Deloitte. We let them work in very exciting projects, very interesting projects. And also, when they came, when they joined Deloitte, then we'll start a lot of training program for them. We'll train them is not only on the technical skill, we also train them on management skill. And then we very look forward. We also very emphasize on the work-life balance. We understand that at the moment teenagers look for higher work-life balance than that we did. We are the X generation, so therefore every month there will be what we call Happy Fridays, where they can spend a lot of time with their colleagues to do different things. Let's say yoga, let's say understanding some Chinese culture. Just get together to do something. And also we have our sports days. We have a very strong mentor program where we have senior partners, or we have partners who coach them personally, trying to trying to understand where the weaknesses is, how they can grow their career, and even if they have encountered some problems during their private life, then we can offer some help. I think these are some of the ways that we try to attract and retain our talents. Basically, one very important thing is care them, understand them, care them, and provide help. I think these are the major things that we did.
Okay, so another thing, in recent years, we can see that it seems that more and more young people from Hong Kong seek to study and work in the Chinese mainland.
Yes.
So what's your insight on this phenomenon?
I think basically they have the same thinking that I did, is because the market itself from Hong Kong, from the employment market, and also from the industry a development perspective, economic perspective, is very mature already. If they are looking for a quicker career path, they're really looking forward to coming to China, learn the experience, understand the culture, and then actually the economic in China is now the second. And we foresee that within the next 10, 15 years, China will become the first biggest economy. And therefore, I think gaining experience from starting your career will be much more easier to develop a career rather than to develop a career in Hong Kong and then coming to China and to adapt to the environment again. So I think that's the major reasons.
Okay, so for those Hong Kong talents who want to develop their careers in the Chinese mainland, what kind of suggestions would you offer to help them better prepared and more adaptable?
Okay, I think first of all, very importantly, is understanding that you are a newcomer coming to mainland China. Don't try to bring
Chinese
in
mainland.
Chinese mainland. Don't try to bring in your own perspective or your lifestyle in Hong Kong, come to China, and then ask others to adopt to you. Actually, it's you are adopting to the environment.
To be more flexible.
More flexible. And the second thing that I can think of is you need to be more interested in the lifestyle, in the ways that people think here. Say, for example, spend more time to know some friends in Beijing, understand their background, understand their culture, show interest to their life.
Open-minded.
Right, exactly. And show people that you want to help them if they need it. I think one of the impressions for most of the mainland Chinese to Hong Kong is quite cool and money-orientated. But however, actually, that's not true. I think most of the Hong Kong teenagers and talents are very interested in the life in Beijing. And therefore, I think spend more time with people here, spend more time to understand their background, to understand why they think like that, and then work together, enjoy your life in Beijing. I think that's very important.
So thank you very much for being on our program.
Thank you.
Okay.